This is Joel Creekmore, your church planner in Bellevue, Washington. Now, to be honest, I've struggled a bit with how to update our supporting churches as we've just focused on being faithful for the past months. Faithful to preach, faithful to go on outreach, faithful to assemble. As I've said before, God has blessed us with normal attendance from our membership through COVID, but we have definitely seen a difference when it comes to visitors. Now, with that said, we do have some exciting news to share. Back in the fall of 2020, we had a young man attend church who had really visited on and off some time ago. He needed to be saved, and we were praying for him. He said, though, that he would start coming to church faithfully. Some time went by, and we didn't hear from him. Come to find out that this young man in his early 20s was diagnosed with leukemia and was in the hospital. We couldn't visit him in the hospital because of COVID, but we prayed that he would be healed and that he would be saved. 2 weeks ago, he was released from the hospital, and several of us from the church were able to take him out to lunch. We heard his story and heard now how his cancer was in complete remission, the first answer to prayer. Then I asked him about salvation and his eternal destiny. He said that spending a month in the hospital, he remembered thinking he may never leave and that he needed to get saved. After walking him through the gospel, he bowed his head and prayed to receive Christ in faith. We told him that we were praying for both his healing and his salvation, and God answered both requests. That's exciting. Please pray with us, though, that he would start discipleship with me and continue to grow in grace. Man, it's wonderful when someone trusts Christ in faith, but it's also good to see Christians grow. And recently, we were able to take our missions commitments as a church, and I'm thrilled to announce that we've committed more this year than last. It looks like our preliminary number is around $30,000 committed for missions. We're very thankful for that. In the last several months, we've seen one member move out, but we've also gained 2 new members. Now, it's not fast growth, but God's still at work here in Bellevue, and of course, for that, we are thankful. At the end of January, we had our business meeting and gave the church the update for 2020, and that we saw a 27% year-over-year decrease in our tithes and offerings. Now, it's not clear whether that's COVID-related or other factors, but it does mean that we are drawing down our reserves faster and will run out of operating income sooner than expected. I've been asked by folks when we expect to be self-supporting, and the answer continues to remain, I have no idea. To the best of our ability, we will continue to be faithful and serve the Lord. If there comes a time when we are unable to make payroll, I will seek additional employment outside the church. Now, our church body knows this, and we continue to pray for God to provide both souls and funds. I've recently started teaching karate again. Now, many of you know I got saved through a karate ministry, but then I took a 10-year break and focused on church service, family, Bible college, church planning. Right now, we have limited attendance in this ministry we've limited to church members and members of other local churches to grow a base of students that know the Lord. We currently have 22 students, both children and adult, and our church is praying that God would guide and open some very specific doors to make this a real outreach ministry of the church, especially when it comes to reaching children. Would you pray with us? We're seeking guidance, wisdom, and some open doors to be able to utilize this skill for God's glory. If the Lord would create the opportunity, I believe that this could be a great outreach ministry for our church. And we appreciate your continued prayers and giving as we endeavor to faithfully reach the people of Bellevue. Thank you, and God bless.